Hi, y'all. Welcome back. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. By the way, Jay may call in Morris. I told him he said he's free. He told me he can call right now, so if he wants to call, he can roll. All right. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Yes, expansion of gambling is rolling. We're waiting for Jay. I'll get into Stokes. There's a Democrat woman running against former judge running against Clay Higgins in the 3rd Congressional District. Mike Stagg is running. Oh, my God. All right. I need to be a serious candidate here. All right. Anyway, let's jump gears. Representative Jay Morris join me. Jay, how you doing, sir?
Hello, Moon.
Good to hear from you, man. Hey, Jay, first of all, Constitutional Convention is getting a lot of play. I think it's being shoved down our throat. And it's a funny thing to watch. We got the business community lobby on one side wanting it, and then you got the left wanting it. But there's a lot of good Republicans, and everybody thinks it's going to be some kind of fix-all. But yet you came out against it. And tell us why you think the Constitutional Convention is not a good idea at this point.
Well, you know what? You're exactly right. People are, I think, being a little bit misled that this is going to just solve all the problems. The people on the left think it's going to open up the money spigots, and the big business guys. But their aim is to get out of certain tax obligations that they just simply cannot stand. And guess who's going to pay for all that? The middle class. You know, your working middle class, small business people, and, you know, to a degree, upper middle class people who live and work in this state. You know, before we just give a blank slate to a group of delegates that we do not know who they're going to be and what their alliances and obligations are going to be, I'm saying, wait a minute, tell us what you want in this Constitution. We can probably change just about everything you want to change just by filing bills and have them passed by 2/3 like they have to and go to the people for a vote.
Yeah. So let me ask this question to you, Jay, and I've asked several people this. I've watched, and you have too, the whining and gnashing of teeth of how we have obligated so much money that we can only cut $3 to $4 billion. Jay Darden, the governor, a lot of people are saying that we can only cut because of dedicated funds. You just mentioned a bill.
Listen,
can't we?
That's a little bit of a.
Can't we? If that's true, let's just do the assumption that's true. Can't we have one bill that is a constitutional amendment to undedicate all the funds? And if we can't, why not?
Yeah. Well, you make a good point, and the dedication of funds is a little bit of a red herring because the people who are really pushing for it hard, I don't think care that much about these dedicated funds. They either just want more money or they want the tax burden shifted from them to someone else. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, there are two significant dedicated funds. One is K-12 education, the MFP they call it, and the other is supplemental pay for law enforcement. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked if we had a constitutional convention that those things stay dedicated. But what people don't ever talk about and don't realize is that we have a lot of mandatory spending that we cannot cut that has nothing to do with constitutional dedications. For example, just to give you a list of a few, Corrections Department, we have $514 million, $500 million that we cannot cut from corrections, not because of dedications, but because of federal court orders and consent decrees. Mm-hmm. We have $983 million, nearly $1 billion in mandatory health care spending that is not pursuant to any constitutional dedication in our Constitution. A new Constitution will not get rid of that. We have debt service in the hundreds of millions that we cannot get out of our debt by having a new Constitution. We have to fund elections. We cannot get out of funding elections. Just imagine, let's eliminate the Secretary of State and not fund the purchase of any voting machines. The Department of Children and Family Services. we are spending the bare minimum $65 million of their spending is federally mandated. Nothing in our Constitution makes us do it. So a new Constitution would not undo that.
Yeah.
So, the suggestion that everything is because of the Constitution I think is just a misnomer.
Well, but you know yourself.
People are frustrated because we didn't raise taxes, and a lot of people are just going nuts.
Well, I'd say I'm agree with you. The raising of the taxes is what concerns me. When I get back, if you got a few more minutes, I want to talk about what I really think the Holy Grail is for people to get their hands on and see if you agree or disagree. Representative Jay Morris, my special guest from the Monroe area. I lived for 35 years, my special guest. We'll talk a little bit more about the Constitutional Convention, which will not fix all the things they're saying it will fix. But you're going to be told that over and over again. Representative Jay Morris talking about a Constitutional Convention that's basically getting ready to be shoved down our throat, I think, Jay. And I'll talk to you about the votes in a minute. Let me throw this at you and let you just tell me if I'm off. If I'm off, tell me. I want to know. I think that what they really want in the Constitutional Convention, let me throw 3 or 4 things at you. Number one, they want the 2/3 votes on taxes and fees gone. They hate it. Number two, I saw Julie Stokes. She wants to be able to vote taxes every year. Not every other year. Not just during the odd years, but odd, even, whatever. That's number two. Term limits could probably come into play in this. Whether you like them or not, that's something else that could play in this. And I think homestead exemption. I've talked to business people. They want to see us lower or get rid of the homestead exemption so people would pay more taxes locally. And I think those are the gist of this Constitutional Convention. I agree with you. It's not the dedicated funds. That's what they use as an excuse all the time. Talk to me about what I just said. Am I way off?
You nailed it. No, you're dead on, man. Here's the deal. Of course, everybody wants something different. Like you said, disparate groups are kind of joining forces, kind of a, odd couple, if you will, with the left and big business, arguably on the right. But number one, the big business guys would like to get rid of the homestead exemption. And because it would take the pressure off them and would more easily enable them to get out of property taxes altogether. Number two, those guys also want to get rid of the inventory tax. They hate the inventory tax. Note that property taxes, like the inventory tax and other property taxes, are very hard to gain, unlike income taxes, where income can be shifted around from state to state. On the left, yes, they want to open up the spigots. They want more money to come down the pipe. Lowering the 2/3 is something that many would like on the left. Whether they could get that through in a Constitutional Convention, I do not know. But another thing they might do is eliminate the deduction for federal income taxes paid, which is it used to be worth about $900 million. After the Trump tax reform, it's worth about $600 million. So eliminating that deduction would increase taxes on middle class personal income taxes in this state by $600 million.
By the way, that's the people that are pounding on that. Besides middle class, are small business people like me, and I'm really small, right. Jay. I wish I did $1 million in sales a year, but I'm not even close to that. So you see what I'm saying? I'm not even close. But they would love to pop people like me, and I can't be hit anymore. I asked the other day for the governor and Jay Darden. They keep asking y'all where to cut, where to cut. Why don't they come look at my budget and tell me where to cut? What am I supposed to cut out, Jay? My special needs daughter's school? Do I cut out? I got a vehicle note. I hate having a vehicle note, and I'm getting ready to pay it off. But I got do I quit my transportation? Do we go to one vehicle to please state government? And by the way, Jay, you and me are mandated too. You're mandated with a sales tax, a gas tax, a homeowner's insurance, or maybe you in a flood zone, so you got to pay that, the income tax. You're mandated sales tax. You're mandated all over the place. We got more mandates than state government. So I'm asking, how do they go to middle class people? And I'm very middle class, and tell me what I can cut so they can have more. And that's where the problem is.
That's my issue with it, and and that's my issue with the way it's being sold, because it's being sold in other ways, like we don't have flexibility, or it's too long. That's one of the big ones. Who cares if it's too long if it protects the people? And another complaint by the law professor types is, well, we're putting statutory law into the Constitution. Well, the people voted for those things.
Yep.
You know, I think they like the fact that K through 12 education can't be monkeyed with and it's very stable. That doesn't mean that the formula doesn't need to be changed and we don't need to get more money into the classroom and out of, managers and the like. But be that as it may, I'm with you 100%. I just don't like the way it's being sold and nobody will come out and say what they really want.
No, they're not. But I think the dedicated portion that I keep hearing the governor and the co-governor keep crying about is the setup. And if you read every newspaper article, it's almost, they keep saying, well, we don't want Washington politics. The Washington press has come here. They've taken a side, Jay, that they want to take. You've been beat up by them, too. And they run with that side, and they don't care about what the other side thinks or what's right or wrong. They just go with the narrative. And that's a problem because you have nobody in the media covering this anymore. They pro Bell Edwards, and whatever Edwards says, they go with. And it's very frustrating.
Right. And John Bell has been pretty quiet on the Constitutional Convention. I think he said he's indicated he's for it. My own congressman, I think, is talking about that it might be an answer. But if it is an answer, tell me how it's going to be structured, and then maybe I'll take a look at it. But if it's institutionalizing benefits for certain groups and laying the bill on the middle class, I am not for it.
But Jay, can we be honest?
Things out on
Representative Morris, can I be honest with you? You know good and well the money comes from the meets in the middle. The money will come from the middle class. They're not having a constitutional convention, so me and the rest of the people in this state are going to have a better life. They're having a constitutional convention because it's only about tax dollars. The only thing they ever talk about is state government's budget. What about mine? What about my producer, Brandon Como? Mm-hmm. What about yours? What about your business budget? They don't worry about that stuff. They just worried about how much more money they can get in state government. And let's be blunt, your group in the Republican Party has put together in the last 10 to 12, 14 years, our government's growing more than twice to what our economy's growing. And nobody's talking about that.
Well, we talk about it, but it doesn't get reported very much.
No.
But it's very frustrating. That's why I went on social media to say, wait a minute about this constitutional convention, and you nailed it. The dedicated funds is a red herring. We have lots of things that are mandatory that have nothing to do with dedications, and then a lot of them have nothing to do with the state general fund. For example, wildlife and fisheries, they don't get any state general fund money. They only get fees for licenses and the like. And the coastal fund gets BP money and other grants and stuff. They don't leech off the but they'll throw those funds in to say they're dedicated, but they cannot be used for other things because the way they get their money, the Millennium Funds have tobacco money. That can't be just used to plug our holes. Wildlife and fisheries can't take fee money that's supposed to be spent on wildlife and fisheries for hunting licenses and then go spend it on social spending for state general fund. That's how the fees passed, So
actually, during the general years, they took fees from those places and spent it, so it became a tax increase. But that's another subject. Let me ask this: just your opinion today? Do they have the votes to get this constitutional convention? Because I'm really concerned that we're going to cave in on this, and I think the parameters will be set once we cave in on it. So the incoming governor is going to have to deal with whatever comes up. I'm just asking you, do they have the votes right now? And if they don't have the votes, how come I don't see many people, with the exception of you? Lance Harris was on this program, said he won't be voting for it. We don't see a lot of people saying it's a bad thing because of what I think me and you talked about earlier. You got the business group over here. You got the municipalities and some of these other people that are for this.
Right. Well, right now, they're probably a good solid 35 to 40 Republicans out of 60 that will vote for it. But the Democrats are not on board right now. And they're probably holding out to get some sort of assurances of what they're going to get out of it. Because let's be honest, a lot of Democrats are the majority of the state are Democrats. Hardworking people who might have a $75,000 house, $60,000 house, and eliminating the homestead exemption is going to be a 12. If you just eliminated the whole thing right away, that's a $12 billion tax increase on homeowners in the state that goes to local government, and so we don't send local government the $90 million they get every year. But that doesn't mean, and maybe we cut the MFP if they get all that local money, but that isn't going to eliminate state government's obligation under debt service, healthcare spending, infrastructure, constitutional positions. So it's not like all our state taxes are just going to drop by that amount. They're not. It's going to be a significant net tax increase on middle-class people.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jay, I appreciate it. I hope there's a lot of people feel like y'all right now. I think the timing on this is horrendous. I don't think it's going to fix a thing, and that's what bothers me. They're going to call this as a fix-all. Then once it's voted on by the people, once you said the people will get the vote, and they vote for it, it's too late then. They're not going back to a constitutional convention in 3 years and 5 years. Whatever they bring down on us is going to be tough. There's the problem. We will have a shot to knock it down if it does get out the House and the Senate.
Yeah, we will have a shot at the vote with the vote of the people. But there's some special interests that are talking about putting millions and millions of paid media behind it. And the middle class, they don't have lobbyists that they give $20,000 to run a media campaign. And that's what scares me. They'll throw a couple of nuggets in it to make it look good for the middle class and sell us a bill of goods. And those of us in the middle class won't have the clout or the money to counter what's going to be put out in the public. So it's a swing for the fences thing that these people are going for, but they're using the current situation and angst to try to sell this, as you say, shove it down our throats.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay up to date on this. I've talked about it a lot, but there's a reason for us. All right, listen, Jay, we'll do it again. God bless. Thank you here.
Hey, thank you, Moon. Appreciate y'all.
All right, we'll do it again. All right. Quick break. More to come, folks. Folks, we don't want this. I promise you. We'll be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. You know, I love to promote businesses. I think it's one of the best things we do on the air. Sirius Technologies is one we like to promote. It's one of our newest sponsors. Peter Vadrine and Mike Fontenot join me. Hey, guys. Good to see y'all.
Good to be here.
You know, usually I see y'all, we're eating something.
That's usually what happens.
And we'll be eating next time, too.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as we get out of here.
And by the way, I got a dentist appointment. They've already accused me of shifting around so I wouldn't buy lunch. I know. So now I got to go to Eunice.
I just don't think you want to be seen with us in public.
Using a dentist appointment as an excuse.
Look, I got a problem. Can you fix it right now or I won't go?
No, Jimmy will take us.
Yeah, here, Peter probably got a drill out there. So I got a drill. I can help y'all. All right, guys, Sirius Technologies been bragging about y'all. Cummins generator, which is a big, big part of what y'all do. Tell the people a little bit about what you guys can do and how you can help people out there with hurricane season right around the corner.
Well, first of all, Cummins Generators has been around for a long time, Moon. They garner the large portion of the industrial market, which most people don't pay attention to. Super Bowls have Cummins Generators all amped up to provide power. And now they're starting to dominate the residential market. And we have them at
y'all kind of do both, don't y'all?
Yeah, we'll do any.
Y'all do commercial and so somebody's listening, they need it for commercial or home. Y'all do both.
Right. Even industrial. We can handle any size up to 2 megawatts.
And Cummins is known everywhere, so it's not like we're talking just Lafayette. We're talking around the state. And anybody needs Cummins, you guys can be contacted.
Yes. We have Cummins at our shop and at our home, so we believe in the product wholeheartedly.
There's no doubt about it. You guys, I know you guys enough. Y'all want the best, and y'all feel like they're the best for y'all, and that's why y'all get your service people.
Absolutely.
Pete, I never heard you stop and not want to talk. Did Mike tell you not to talk?
He did. He told me not. Well, he told me not to offend anybody.
Okay, no problem.
But we're not going to go there.
No, but you guys have been around for how long?
Well, we've been in business since 2003.
Yeah, so you've been around a while.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, when somebody's looking at what y'all selling, I always tell them they better find somebody that's been around a little while, and y'all have, because that means they're proven that they're going to be there. Because one of the things y'all do, y'all service these things as well.
Yes, we take care of the whole thing. And one of the distinctions that since I've been in business, I try and do things differently than everybody else. Because, the honest truth is if you're going to compete against people, you have to do things different. And one of the reasons when we started Sirius Technologies, before we even got into generators, one of our principles was if you're not happy, you don't pay for it. Mm-hmm. And when I was in the oil industry, one of the biggest things I experienced was not from me, but a competition. They'd hire somebody to go out there. They'd send the wrong person sometimes. That person couldn't get it done, so they'd call them back in, send somebody else. And by the time it was over with, this oil company might be paying 3 or 4 times more than it should have cost it. And when I started this business, my intention was this is not the way we're going to do business. If whoever we send can't do it and I have to send somebody else, they're going to pay for the one who fixes it, not the one who's wasting their time and money.
But I think you got a good grip on it, because the fact of the matter is we can buy things from different people all over the place. Having the service behind it and somebody really standing up for what they say, that's a whole different ballgame. That's when it puts you at the top.
Well, and as I've shared with you, one of our things we're doing on generators is if you're not happy with the people who's servicing it, show us their contract. We'll give you the first year free. We want to prove.
So somebody out there that needs some help, they're not happy. You're willing to go help them with a whole new contract.
We're so confident that they're going to like our service that we're willing to give them the first year free.
So if somebody's not happy with a contract and a service contract, you guys are saying, show us, we'll come in, we'll do it for free the first year, and after that, y'all can sign a contract.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat deal.
I mean,
now, off the record, do y'all deal with servicing anybody but Cummins?
We will service any generator.
So any generator. I want people to know that, because I know that's the generator you're probably going to sell, and you'll service it, but you do service other generators.
We're licensed to service many of the major brands, and we service almost all of them, especially the industrial types, for hospitals, nursing homes, police stations, fire stations. That's a big portion of our service.
The best way to get in touch with you guys is a phone number or through the web, email site, or what? What's the best way?
Whatever way is easiest for them. But if you go to SiriusUSA.com, there you're going to have it.
By the way, they hear it on ad, SiriusUSA.com. I mean, it's pretty easy.
As long as you...
SIRIUS, and y'all have nothing to do with the radio.
No.
I want people to know that this is not Sirius Radio. This is totally different, and I want people to know it, because I've had people say, that the group out there that has the radio deal? And I said, nope, nothing to do with that.
In fact, we have a friendly relationship with them. When we went to get a trademark with the name Sirius in it, they could test it, and in the end, we got what we wanted, and everybody was happy. But we're not part of Sirius Radio.
No, nothing to do with that, and that's why I want people to know that.
And we got an 800 number too, Moon, 888-322-3222.
Yeah, if they go to the website, though, all that's on there.
Everything.
So you can communicate through the website. You can also communicate with a phone call. I tell people hurricane season is around the corner, and if you're going to get a great Cummins generator, you need to go ahead and do it now.
Absolutely.
Because there's a process to get it there, to install it, because y'all do all that.
It takes a lot longer if you wait until hurricane season, when everybody sees the first storm on the horizon. Everybody wants it yesterday.
When that sucker hit the Gulf, they might be easing to be a little late. It's not that you wouldn't try to do it, but you want to go ahead and get it done now. And there are a lot of people that are installing these just for year-round. So, we get cold weather or hailstorms or whatever, and then you have it for the whole year. Flooding has become a problem, as you know. And
a lot of these hunters that leave their homes and leave their wives and kids, they usually want to make sure that their families are safe in the event of a power outage.
Wouldn't this be a good idea to have one at a camp?
Absolutely.
Hunting camp, fishing camps, and all that kind of stuff as well.
It's not just for storms.
Well, it's kind of neat when the storm's coming on and people are panicking that you can go cook.
Well,
you have lights. You can run your water. You can do all the things.
Don't worry about a thing. Yeah. You don't have to worry about a thing. And I'm going to tell you something. The one.
Go ahead.
The one I have at my home is a Cummins. Before we were Cummins dealers, and that's what made me decide to get with Cummins and become a Cummins dealer.
You like what you were getting.
I liked what I was getting. The first time it actually kicked on, it was quite a few years back, but it was snowing at about 9 o'clock at night, and we lost electricity. And but it was on momentary, and I forgot about our generator. It kicked back on, and we never heard the generator. My son gets home, and he's weirded out. Yeah. He got in the house.
You got the only lights in the house?
Yeah, he said, Daddy, something's weird. We're the only ones with electricity. And then it's kind of, wow. I went outside, and he only 20 feet away, and you could not hear
when
the
he said something's weird, you said, I bet you turned and said, son, don't pick on me.
You're right.
Thank you, guys. We'll keep promoting y'all. Thank y'all so much. We'll do it again next month.
Thank you.
And look, if they're in your earshot, we can take care of them.
That sounds great. We got to go. We'll be right back.